Next week on Coronation Street brings a pivotal moment for beloved character Debbie Webster as she faces a devastating diagnosis. Doctors inform her she may have young-onset dementia. The revelation comes after she grapples with a series of troubling symptoms, forcing her to confront an uncertain future. Monday, April 7th. Tensions between Jack and Kevin remain high, with Kevin's frustration boiling over after grounding Jack. Meanwhile, Tyrone is eager to mend their fractured friendship, hoping to put their disagreements behind them. At the Rovers, Glenda hesitates before serving Kevin, but his temper flares, and he snaps at her when Tyrone arrives and calls him out for being selfish and mean-spirited. Kevin's anger explodes in a heated confrontation. Abby is left stunned and furious when she witnesses Kevin's increasingly volatile behavior. Her shock deepens as he lashes out at her, making cruel and deeply hurtful remarks that leave her reeling. Later, at the garage, Abby and Tyrone discuss Kevin's alarming conduct, noting how he seems intent on alienating those closest to him. Concerned, Tyrone visits number 13, urging Kevin to open up, speak to Abby, and start valuing his family before it's too late. On the street, Theo approaches Todd, offering a heartfelt apology for his previous actions and admitting his genuine feelings. Todd, taken aback, invites him back home. However, later that day, Todd is caught off guard when Theo unexpectedly turns up at Shuttleworth's to arrange a funeral. In the flat above the corner shop, Dee Dee vents her frustrations to Sarah over the poor treatment she received at the hospital. Determined that no one else should endure the same ordeal, she makes her feelings clear when the midwife visits. Meanwhile, a fatigued Ed heads to the hotel for a plumbing repair, leaving Debbie in charge of Layla. Ronnie urges Debbie to report Mick to the police, insisting that he's done nothing but cause trouble. Taking matters into her own hands, Debbie discreetly places a call from a quiet corner of the hotel bar, explaining that she has experienced some troubling incidents and needs to speak with someone. Wednesday, April 9th. Debbie confides in her private doctor about a series of troubling incidents, detailing how she has misplaced her purse, clashed with Jack, and had a tense confrontation with Mick in the Ginnel. As she recounts each event, the scenes unfold in flashbacks, revealing moments where she has either placed blame unfairly or let misunderstandings fester. Her doctor, however, suspects something far more serious than menopause. He suggests that Debbie may have experienced a mini-stroke and recommends further tests for vascular dementia. The news leaves her reeling, and he urges her to be honest with Ronnie. The question remains, will she heed his advice? At the hotel, rather than dwell on the unsettling diagnosis, Debbie immerses herself in work. Despite Harper's dismissal, Dana remains concerned. She wonders if her sister is ignoring her own doubts, and whether Tane is as committed to the wedding as Harper wants to believe. Kevin and Tyrone step in to defuse the situation before it escalates further. Later, Kevin makes amends at home, presenting Jack with go-karting tickets and giving Abby flowers as a peace offering. Jack is elated, and Abby is relieved to see Kevin back to his usual self. At Tyrone's house, an unexpected visitor awaits Doran. Fizz explains that Alina's home has suffered a flood, and she has offered to take care of Doran temporarily. To Tyrone's delight, this means a surprise reunion. Elsewhere, Ed wrestles with feelings of inadequacy, believing Layla deserves more than what he can offer. Meanwhile, Tim arrives home with a bold announcement. Although he cherishes his life with Sally, he thinks they need a fresh challenge, and he has a plan in mind. Friday, April 11th. Abby heads to Freshco to get some anti-sickness meds for Kevin. In the car park, a man called Carl tries to steal Abby's parking space, causing her to prang her car. Abby loses her temper, shouting that her husband is suffering from cancer. She lashes out, giving Carl a bloodied nose. Mortified, she apologizes and he shrugs it off and heads back to his car. After it fails to start, Abby offers to fix it. He then tells her she is funny and gorgeous and asks her out for a drink. Back at the Rovers, she regales Kevin, Debbie and Ronnie with the car park story, minus the attraction between her and the driver. But as she comes back from the ladies, she is shocked to find Carl chatting to the others and realizes he is Kevin and Debbie's brother. Meanwhile, Debbie makes a furtive call and arranges an appointment at the memory service clinic. When Hope hears Sally and Tim talking about fostering and not wanting to look after a child like Hope, she plots her revenge. Cassie packs Hope and Ruby off to the cinema so she can spend the afternoon with Steve. In the garden at number 4, Tim and Sally discuss their fostering plans when suddenly a balloon full of water comes flying over the fence. A furious Sally turns to see Hope and Ruby filming the incident. Hope and Ruby return home to find Cassie and Steve in a state of undress. Hope suggests to Cassie that they should both keep quiet about what they've each been up to. Meanwhile, despite Sally's reservations about the fostering idea, Tim secretly books himself in for a fostering information session. When Ronnie calls in with her lunchbox and points out she forgot it, Debbie masks her turmoil. In the cafe, Tim admits to Ronnie that he let slip to Debbie about his plan to propose to her. Ronnie calls at the hotel and, pulling out an engagement ring, gets down on one knee. In the Rovers, Carla breaks the news to Jenny that she needs to pay Lisa back and she's decided to sell the pub. Jenny's shocked. At the Rovers, Jenny receives a parcel. She is delighted to discover it's a bottle of champagne from Dominic's very own vineyard. Christina watches, a sly grin on her face. Jenny begs Carla to give her first refusal on buying the pub. Daisy watches, intrigued. At number 11, Todd suggests to Julie they should set up a crowdfunding page to send her on the holiday of her dreams before it's too late. Eileen reckons it's a good idea. In the Rovers, Kit flirts with Sarah, who tries her best to play hard to get. Theo begs an affronted Todd not to cause a scene at his mother-in-law's funeral. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.